checking the level of a floor joist. As the business grew, the security she promised began to feel like a cage. By the time our youngest Leo started kindergarten, we were landing six-figure contracts for luxury remodels in Buckhead. Yet according to Sarah, the business was struggling and on the brink of insolvency. She started implementing what she called austerity measures. It began with small things, cutting the cable package, only switching to generic groceries, but soon it escalated to my professional life. She cut my personal draw to a pittance, claiming we needed to reinvest every cent just to stay afloat. I lived on a $60 a week allowance, feeling like a teenager asking for gas money, while I worked 60-hour weeks to keep the crews paid and the clients happy. I remember wanting to buy a new set of titanium hammers to replace my rusted gear, and she made me feel like I was stealing food from our children's mouths just for asking. I lived in a state of constant, low-grade guilt, believing that my poor management was the reason we were always broke. The atmosphere in our home turned from warm to clinical. Every time I asked to see the year-end profit and loss statements, Sarah would sigh, her eyes filling with performative tears that made me feel like a monster. "Do you think I'm incompetent, David? Or do you just not trust me?" It was a brilliant psychological defense. By framing my financial curiosity as an attack on her character, she forced me into a position of constant apology. I started noticing small things, designer shopping bags tucked deep into the bottom of the recycling bin, or the way she'd snap her laptop shut with a violent click whenever I entered the home office. When I brought up the fact that our joint savings account seemed stagnant despite our high-end contracts, she blamed the rising cost of lumber and unforeseen insurance hikes. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. Because the alternative, that the woman I loved was systematically bleeding me dry, was too painful to contemplate. She was social engineering my downfall long before she ever filed for divorce, telling everyone in our social circle how hard she was working to save us from my financial incompetence. The end didn't come with a conversation. It came with a cold, professional betrayal. I was on a job site in Buckhead, overseeing the installation of a custom mahogany staircase, when a man in a nondescript windbreaker approached me. "David Sterling?" he asked. When I nodded, he handed me a manila envelope. "You've been served," he said, his voice flat and bored as if he hadn't just handed me a hand grenade. I opened the documents right there, surrounded by the smell of fresh wood and the scream of circular saws. Sarah wasn't just asking for a divorce. She was asking for sole custody of Leo and Maya, the house,